good morning. So today I have Sudhir with us, who is a customer-facing technology leader who knows how to understand customer needs and how to make sure they give to the market is what they want at the end of the day. Because a lot of companies create products, but they tend to fail because they don't keep the customer in mind. But Sudhir definitely knows how to make customers happy. Let's welcome Sudhir on 10 Minutes of Hiding Wisdom, where he will tell us about what he has learned along the way and how we can implement those learnings in our day-to-day lives. Hi Sudhir, how are you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for having me on board. My name is Sudhir Srinivas, and I am basically the Vice President of Data Engineering and Platform at Freedom Financial Network. We are basically a financial services and a fintech company. And our overall goal, basically, we are a very, very mission driven company. And our goal is to help everyday Americans get to their financial goals, whether it be retirement, whether it's getting out of debt, and we have a whole range of products and solutions in order to be able to help that. And we take a very, very
Okay, and what got you into this?
I think I've been in primarily in the Bay Area. I've been in technology companies, big and small scale teams. But I think the thing that really attracted me to Freedom Financial was basically the mission. The company really cares about its customers and takes a very customer driven approach to helping solve the financial needs and the financial aspirations of people, and helping them get to their whatever goals that they actually have.
I love how you mentioned the mission because I think these days a lot of people aren't after money these days. I think it's the mission, the purpose that people usually want, that they want to feel like they're part of something bigger. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the greatest resignation period, where a lot of people are leaving their jobs just because they feel unfulfilled, they feel unsatisfied. And I can definitely see why you would want to be a part of some companies, because I think Americans, so many of them are under debt. A lot of people don't know what to do with their savings. So it's great to see that companies like there still exist who have the best interests at heart for customers. And I'd love to understand what your background is, Sudhir. Like, what did you study, and how were you always interested in fintech, or were you interested in something else? And how did you end up here?
Yeah, I have a background in engineering, and then in India, and then I came to the U.S. for my master's, and then came to the San Francisco Bay Area, and that's where I've been. I've actually not been in fintech for many years, relatively speaking, but have primarily been looking at companies that actually have some durable competitive can solve customer problems, and then in the ability to be able to do that, get a durable competitive advantage. Have run the gamut, have primarily been with product companies my entire career, and have been leading engineering organizations, and along the way also product management roles as well. I was at a few companies ago. I was at Yahoo, then spent some time at Walmart, and then at Intuit, and then now at Freedom Financial. The fintech
Okay.
space, for the last two companies, financial services and fintech area, I've been at Intuit and Freedom.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So, Sudhi, you came from India. You mentioned for your master's specifically. I think I come from Pakistan, so I'm an international student in the US as well. So I can definitely relate to that. I think a lot of international students, when they come to the US and everything, they feel alienated. They're like, "Oh, there's so many opportunities. There's so much we can do and everything." So, what are some of the best steps that those people could take in order for them to get a good, secure job like yourself?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things that, as I kind of think back over the years and also looked at trajectories of other people as well, there are a few things that do stand out. One is, obviously, understand, what companies are actually looking for. The most important thing along the way is to actually have a growth mindset and to constantly be learning. And opportunities basically find you even when you're not looking for it. And the important thing is basically have an open mind and continue to grow. I think developing skill sets. So that's one important thing. The second thing is to actually find a support group, find people that you kind of look up to. Find mentors in the community. You'll actually be very, very surprised how many people would be willing to actually help you if you kind of reach out. And I think there's always that hesitancy to reach out to people. But once you actually do it, you'll actually be very surprised how many people are willing to give back to the community. There is a life that's actually bigger than all of us, and so those would be the two important things that are there. And
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you so much for
it's
sharing
a
that. I think
fairly
I've
broad
heard
topic,
so.
but I wanted to kind of distill it down to the two important things.
No, no, definitely. And they're very useful because I think the first step of reaching out to someone is the hardest because you're just always like, another person will reach out to them. I'm not likely to get a response. Should I even reach out?
Yep.
So I think just stepping out of your comfort zone is usually the hardest. And usually, like, you're not losing anything at the end of the day, are you? It's just a message that you're reaching out to people. Worst case, if you don't get a reply, move on to someone else in the industry. You never know.
Yeah. I think the other thing, well, I can tell you from my own personal experience and, as well, success is never a straight line. So the important piece
Very
is
true.
to be able to be resourceful and to persevere through, adversity out and things like that. And, I think having the tenacity and the resilience to kind of get up, when things look, don't look so good. I think that really, really helps. And find that
Definitely.
couple of things to get back on your feet. And then pretty soon you'll be really happy that you actually did it.
I think the pandemic was definitely a situation which threw all of us out of guard. We were busy planning our lives and everything. And then the pandemic happened. A lot of companies had to change their structures, had to change the way they operate. And a lot of people had to just like go through it just because we don't have any choice at the end of the day. So I think being resilient is something that's very important. And a lot of companies appreciate these days. So thank you for sharing that. Last question for you would be, is your company hiring? What kind of positions are open, and what kind of people is your company looking to hire for?
Um, yes, we are hiring. That's the short answer. We are hiring across the gamut in technology, in engineering, in product, and in other departments as well. Hiring is a huge challenge. You alluded to the fact that we're all living in a very different world, and I hate to use the cliche, it's the new norm, but it is. That is what it is. But finding talent is continues to be difficult. So we've had to be really, really creative in terms of going out there, finding really motivated and skilled people and getting them on board and basically inspiring them to do the best work that they possibly can. But it's not been easy, but we've had some good success.
Okay, I think everyone's after such good quality candidates, and it's the candidates market these days. The tables have turned, so I think candidates are just like, at first it used to be the companies ghosting on candidates, but now it's the candidates ghosting on companies. So it's interesting how karma happened, the tables have turned, and I just like the dynamic. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm glad that your company has understood that and they're coming up with creative ways to attract the right talent. Because at the end of the day, you want people who believe in your mission to work for you, because that ultimately leads to more productivity, more efficiency, and the results at the end of the day are something that matters. So thank you so much for sharing that. But other than that, our time is up. We like to keep things short. It was an absolute pleasure having you as a guest, learning about you, your experience, and your journey. And I'm grateful that you came on as a guest and taught me so much about your journey. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having me on.